And we welcome you to Long Island, a matchup between the Brown Bears and the Stony Brook Seawolves. Travis Eldridge, Chris Marshall here with you. Chris, this should be a lot of fun. We got a couple of electric scores on either side of this matchup. Could be a game where we see a whole bunch of goals.
That's certainly what I'm hoping for, Travis. And I think historically, both of these programs love to get up and get down. So I'm excited to see the pace of the game. Both teams, I think, starting off pretty well this season. So certainly looking forward to seeing them collide today.
Overcast skies here at Laval Stadium. But no rain, no snow, something that was talked about maybe earlier in the week that there might be a snowstorm coming through, but we are all good to go as we see the Bears and Seawolves get ready to do battle. Both teams winners of 2 in a row coming into this matchup. Stony Brook starting 0-2 with a couple of losses to Big Ten opponents in Rutgers and Penn State, but bouncing back with a huge week last week, knocking off Air Force and Sacred Heart, putting up 15 goals in each of those 2 games. As for Brown, a surprising loss to Quinnipiac to start the year, but bouncing back with wins over Providence, and then they hung 22 goals on Vermont in blizzard-like conditions last weekend.
I mean, that's the Brown team you've come to expect from the last several seasons, running the field. And it's important to point out that, the Ivy's been a little bit of a later start. So sometimes you see some of that rust at the beginning, not quite be ready to go. And so I wouldn't think about those early losses for the Ivy League teams. You want to see how they're going to be playing, in April.
It's Renz Conlon who wins the opening faceoff forward, and a kick saved by Connor Terrio. Rebound is loose in front, clearing out spaces the Brown defense. And the ground ball scooped up by Mark Witt. However, he throws it out of bounds, and it'll stay with the Seawolves. So a frenetic start right off the faceoff.
Yeah, and you look Conlon. Conlon's been really nice this season, 47 for 83 coming in. I mean, that's a really, really good number when you're looking at percentage. I mean, he's up 60%. Look for him pushing that ball forward, and that could be a problem for Brown.
Starting attack unit for Stony Brook, Blake Balin, Jonathan Huber, and of course Dylan Palinetti coming off a huge week this past week. Had a combined 10 goals in the 2 wins.
I am conflicted about Palinetti. I myself was a volume shooter, but Trav, you know that I like efficiency. He has not been particularly efficient, but he has been exceptionally effective. So yeah. Pick your poison here.
Yeah, productive, that's for sure. As Huber, the grad transfers from St. John's, lets one fly. Back up here for Balin. He wraps around and shoots wide. Midfield unit here for the Seawolves, Will Button, Noah Armitage, and Matt Anderson. Here's Button from the corner. Fakes the flip.
In the corner.
And did Terrio get a piece of that? Let's see. I didn't see the signal. Now it is. They do reset the shot clock. So another fresh 60. So a lengthy opening possession offensively for the Seawolves.
I mean, this is exactly what you want. I mean, you want to eat some of this clock up. This Brown team wants to run. You can force them to play defense a little longer. You can come away with a couple minutes off the clock. Oh, that's a great look inside. Just
Palinetti was looking for that feed. Excuse me, they did not reset the shot clock. My apologies. I thought I saw the official give the signal. But that was a late shot clock possession there. Stony Brook trying to force one inside, and it ends up in a shot clock violation. So Brown, chance to clear for the first time. Devin McLean, number 29 in Brown, the key to the ignition for this offense for the Bears. Coming off 9 goals, a career best against Vermont last weekend. Went off for 10 points in a blizzard up in Burlington.
I mean, that's outrageous. I don't even know how they see the ball out there in the snow. But, I mean, he's averaging 7 per right now. I mean, if he continues that way over the course of the season, I mean, you can chalk that one up as one of the all-time great seasons. So hopefully he can keep that up, because I'd love to see it. A la Dylan Malloy.
And there is a shot and a score. First shot goes for Aiden McLean. So we talk about his brother Devin, and the sophomore, the transfer from Fairfield's the one who gets on the board first.
Well, I mean, likes to hear his name, wants to see it in the newspaper. I mean, that's just great work. I mean, you look at the offense, they got the look that they wanted. He's able to bury it. You just put it where the goalie's not. So, I mean, this is a Brown team that's going to shoot early in the shot clock. I mean, they just want to run you to death.
Nicely done off the wing there by PJ Behan. Scoops up the ground ball. He'll drive in. The short stick D midi bounces it high. You know, you talk about the conditions last week in Burlington. He was joking with Anthony Gallardi, the head coach for Stony Brook. He's like, we really couldn't even look at the film from last week for Brown because you couldn't see anything. He's like, I don't know if they were playing with a white ball, orange ball. You just couldn't see it.
Yeah, and I know we've been on the call for a couple of those games in the past where, and I can't remember exactly which one it was, where the weather just sort of like came in and then you couldn't see anything. It's amazing to me that the players have that sort of ability to play in the weather like that.
Yeah, I mean, to do so effectively, 22 goals is Stony Brook really getting after it defensively here, out of bounds, and they force a turnover. It'll be rewarded to Brown instead. They keep possession here. Less than 4 minutes into this opening quarter. Tough shot to score. A really tough angle, and Brown is on the board again. This time cashing in from the wing is Matteo Corsi.
Yeah, and you look at that skip pass that was coming through. That was the second or third skip that they threw. And you see this one, it comes across, the defenders get caught up, the slide comes, takes a couple of steps upfield. I mean, those are championship steps. Gives himself a better angle. It was still not a great angle, but he's able to find the back of the net. But that's just good offense.
Another one for Conlon that he wins forward. He goes right in again. Another save by Connor Theriault. Sean is a preseason All-American consideration here for the Bears.
I appreciate the confidence. I would like to see him move that.
You know, nobody stepped up on the slide. He saw it opening for the second consecutive time, but Theriault reading it for the second time in a row there off the faceoff. Something to keep in mind, Conlon has won all three of these clamps so far on the faceoff. The only one the Bears got was because the ground ball skidded away from him, but he has been pretty dominant on the clamp here in the first three faceoffs today.
Yeah, and you know, I like I said, I appreciate that. He's coming in over 60%, but the score sheet isn't supporting him.
It's true, and the Bears strike again. They jump out to a 3-0 lead on the feed in front.
You know, it might be time to talk this over. I think you look at how quickly and how effectively Brown has been able to break down the defense. This is time to talk about what's going on here.
Well, and Stony Brook wants to talk things over. They take a timeout. We'll take it as well. Ben Locke on the scoreboard for the Bears as they lead 3-0, less than 5 minutes in. Back here on Long Island, chance to remind you, we got a second game coming up for you here today on Lacrosse TV. Our CAA Game of the Week doubleheader. You see the 4-1 Delaware women's team taking on 2-3 Georgetown. That game 3 p.m. Eastern time. CAA women's and men's lacrosse all season long here on Lacrosse TV. Another face-off win for Stony Brook.
They're going to need to start capitalizing on these face-off wins. Let's see if they can even come away with it here. And they're sending white shirts to the ball. Comes up Brown. Well, that's one of the things you like to see. I mean, signature on the Tufts teams, but this Brown team, I mean, they're hard-nosed, send everyone to the ball type of teams. I mean, they're a lot of fun for me to watch. I really enjoy that style of lacrosse. but I mean, he really gets the most out of the talent he's got. And it's all built on effort. Oh, man.
Save for Stony Brook.
Yeah, that was fortunate. It looked like they got an interference call, but it went off the attackman who was in the crease and then went into the goal. But, I mean, you got to be a little bit more careful than that.
They get the possession here, looking for their first goal here today. Armitage, Anderson, and Button, that first midfield line on for Anthony Gallardi's Seawolves. Anderson trying to feed down low. Difficult pass, falling down as Armitage. He took a shot, and Terrio with another save.
Armitage has been really nice for them this season. I mean, he's got 8 goals, 5 assists. A much more efficient shooter, only 19 shots for those 8 Gs.
Brown will settle it down with the 3-0 lead already. This is Ben Locke. He scored just before that timeout. Now a flag down. It's a delayed penalty coming on the Seawolves. We'll see our first man up for the Bears today.
It'll be interesting to see how they take this free possession.
Showing a lot of patience.
I have the shorty here. This is a good matchup.
Getting going is Jack Kelly. Beats his man. Now draws the slide. We got a huge takeaway check, and that will trigger the penalty. Now flags all over the field. We'll get our call.
I really like that matchup for Jack Kelly. I mean, 6'4", 200, really shiftier than you might think for that size. Man, that's a great check. Cookies. You saw them pull away and give him the ISO, really quick slide. Stony Brook was ready for it, but that's certainly a good matchup.
Calls offside on Will Button for Stony Brook, so a 30-second man up for the Bears. 33%, 4 of 12 here on the young season. There's Kelly at the top, moves it around. That feed in front, deflected on its way in. But the ground ball scooped up by the Bears. They keep it alive. Stony Brook trying to respond defensively, get back in position. Down low, great feed and a shot to score. Locke cut right through to the doorstep, and he cashes in with his second in a row.
And that's just good offense. I think I was about to say how impressed I was at the recovery that Stony Brook had made after that unsettled coming back into their man-down defense. But that's just an excellent pass. It cuts through. I mean, you look, head up, boom, beats 4 defenders. That's just good offense beating good defense.
First assist of the day for Trevor Glavin. Came in with 5 assists as once again Conlon wins it forward. And just like we were talking about, Chris, there, he moves it along, knows how important a full offensive possession is for the Seawolves team down 4-0.
Well, they just haven't been effective enough. I mean, you're down 4-0. And, I mean, we're halfway through this first quarter almost. I mean, I think that you've got to, at minimum, take some time off the clock here. I mean, you'd like to come away with a goal. I mean, you'd like to come away with a 2-pointer, which they should obviously bring to the college game, which is a conversation for a different day. But you have to, at minimum, give your defense a break here.
I'll attempt to do that. Everybody getting a touch here. Palinetti, top of the box. Down the alley, this is Sean Carlo, part of that second midfield line for Stony Brook. Pretty young group of players. Step down shot, Palinetti from distance, never got through. Rebound shot off the post. That'll reset the shot clock, and Palinetti tracks it down on the ground ball.
When you look at the Stony Brook offense, I mean, we talked about Palinetti, Armitage. There's Bellin and Anderson. I mean, there's 4 guys with double-digit points on the season. So they've been spreading it around, and that's what they're going to need to do. They're going to need to move the rock and be able to find some more variety in their offense.
Carlo, the freshman from Wonton, New York, to trigger it in. Balin, skip pass intercepted. Great read there defensively by Witt.
That's just not a good look. I mean, I think they had some continuity going with their offense. They were moving the ball. They were starting their offensive rotations. That's just not a good look.
So
it's a force.
All Bears in the first 10 minutes of this first quarter. They lead 4-0, picking up where they left off on the 22-goal output last week. Got Marcus Wertheim, the freshman from St. James, New York, who's been off to a pretty good start. 3 points so far this year. Has an assist now today. That's 4 points on the season. And we got some issues here in the substitution game. Stony Brook trying to recover, and they do nicely.
I've been really impressed with this Brown squad so far. I mean, they're very sharp. The effort is high. I mean, this is a really good team.
Kelly, skip pass across. That one saved by the guy they call JMO, Jamison McLaughlin in goal, the Syracuse native.
But I'm excited to see what Brown can do. I mean, they're going to have some real opportunities. The Ivy is loaded this year. I mean, really, really good teams. Murderers Row.
Yeah, just like we saw a season ago, Bears, one of the 6 Ivy League teams to make the NCAA tournament, feed in front. That one shot wide. Bears, of course, coming up short against the former Brown coach, Lars Tiffany, in the first round of the NCAA tournament. However, got the 8 seed, had a chance to host an NCAA tournament game. Great Saturday night atmosphere in Providence.
Yeah, it's tough if you run into Virginia. That is a bad matchup for everyone.
That one shot a little high and wide. Pretty good look for Corsi. He's already got a goal today.
Coach Lars Tiffany, obviously one of our favorites.
Oh yeah.
He's a good man.
Can't get off the phone when you get on there with Lars. He'll talk.
I don't want to.
It's true. Talk for a couple hours at least. There's the save for JMO. McLaughlin comes up with this stop, and now a chance to get out and go in transition. See if Stony Brook tries to go early. Feed down on the doorstep. We got a long ball goal. Maybe that'll get things going. The long stick midfielder Christian Loud with his first of the year.
You know, that is fantastic. And like you said, you mentioned the momentum and getting a long stick goal. I mean, the confidence to throw it to Loud on the crease with the pull. I mean, there's an opportunity there where you think you might get handcuffed, but there's a lot of confidence there in number 0. I mean, you look at some goals that they've had come through there. A guy like Rylan Reese, who was real silky. I mean, that's the way that this team likes to play. That's a big-time goal, not only because it breaks the seal, but also because of the momentum of getting a long stick out there on the score sheet. Looks like stuck in the back of the stick there. That's unlucky.
Yeah, you can't take a couple of steps like you used to as of a handful of years ago with the ball in the back of your stick. So it's a violation. It'll give it to Brown. By the way, Loud, a guy who has shown he can score at 4 goals a year ago, go along with 57 ground balls, 19 caused turnovers, as Brown responds right on cue. It's Aiden McLean again with his second.
It just seems like Stony Brook is, I mean, I'm going to say discombobulated on the defensive side, but they just can't keep up. You look at that, he steps out, takes a bad angle. It's a good finish, obviously, but they just do not look comfortable defensively right now.
And a face-off win for Brown. That's the best Matthew Gunty's looked at the X so far today.
Gunty has good numbers this season, too. He's up about 50%.
He's at 60.
Yeah.
19 ground balls coming in. I mean, it was Conlon who's had that early jump on the clamp for the beginning part of this game, but Gunty did well there. And another possession up 5-1 for the Bears.
I mean, Stony Brook has got to start winning some of this ground ball game.
Yeah, long possession here for the Bears. Nicely done defensively there by Michael Sabella, working against Devin McLean. Shot on the run is wide. And they call that a pass? Was the shot clock winding down? I couldn't get a look. Whatever it was, Stony Brook ball. So pretty interesting. We come in talking about Devin McLean after 9 goals last week, and it's his brother Aiden McLean, one of 2 guys with 2 goals here for the Bears. He and Ben Locke each with a pair. And it's a 5-1 game, under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Oh, you know, I like that little trickeration up at the top. They didn't sell the flip all that well, but then the fake pass afterwards, I like the commitment. It didn't work, but I appreciate it. I see you.
Yeah, ends up at a turnover. Another possession for Brown. By the way, here on the wing, it's Kelly again. Get the midfield's unit on. Corsi. Looks to dodge top of the box, working against the short stick matchup in David Mealy Estrella.
Much better job on the sub through the midline. And again, they're out of position. Good recovery, but that was close. It was too early on that slide.
Shot goes wide. 17 seconds left in the shot clock. Good hustle play.
Unfortunately, not get a push there.
And we will get a flag. So, today on Stony Brook.
And that's not what you need. See what number 100 has to say. But I think if you're watching the sixes here on defense, Stony Brook is sliding aggressively, but they're recovering poorly. So they're making the slide, but once the slide comes, the on-ball defender is not recovering, so they're getting the double, but they're not getting a takeaway, and that's really exposing them on the backside. Brown is doing such a good job of moving the ball.
It is a minute penalty for slashing, and Brown, with less than 15 seconds to go in the quarter, just going to hold on to it. They'll keep the possession to start the second.
There's some panda dunks that he's got on there. Yeah, what's going on? Love to see it. But this is a smart play, considering that they've not been doing very well at the faceoff back. They're going to be able to start with it man up coming into the second.
So no face-off to start the second quarter. Brown will start with the ball and a 4-goal lead. All Bears after 1 here on our CAA Game of the Week on Lacrosse TV. Well, Stony Brook not jamming so far here today. Start of the second quarter, a 5-1 Brown lead here on our CAA Game of the Week on Lacrosse TV. Travis Eldridge, Chris Marshall back with you as Brown starts with the ball here to start the second quarter, as they will start with about 40 seconds left on this man-up opportunity that carried over from the first. And we mentioned the face-off X. It's been a good start for Renz Conlon at the X for Stony Brook. So Brown does the smart thing. They avoid a face-off, and it's 6-on-5 to start the second.
Yeah, and this is not the best way to change your momentum going into a new quarter if you're Stony Brook with the way Brown's been playing on offense. So hopefully they can get a stop here before this gets out of hand.
Pass looking right down to the doorstep. Pass a little off, but they'll say it's tipped by Stony Brook, who stays with Brown. A little bit of time left on this penalty.
Oh, the back door's open.
They rotate around. And the penalty's released. And we have a whistle, and it'll go back the other way.
I mean, this is an opportunity. That's good recovery from Brown. Gotta hold on to it. Nice catch.
Blake Balin saved a turnover. And he'll settle things down.
I mean, that's a great grab. My hands were never that quick.
Only Stony Brook goal in that first quarter came in transition from the long pole Christian Loud. Otherwise, Brown defensively has done a really nice job.
I mean, Brown's been great everywhere except for the face-off X. But, I mean, that doesn't really seem to be stopping them. So, I mean, what difference does it make?
It's true. Anderson, back up top, Hubert. Palinetti from way downtown finds the side of the cage.
This is not a good shot. I mean, they're 16 yards out. They've got to do better. I mean, I think you look at this offense, they have good offensive players. They're just not having good offensive sets. I mean, you can't settle for a 16-yard shot when you're playing decent offense.
Well, you know, Palinetti does have the green light. We've seen him hit from there throughout his career, but sometimes it can be situational, too. You're down 5-1 here in this second quarter. Getting maybe a slightly higher percentage shot on a possession is probably what the coaching staff wants in that situation.
Right, and like I said, coming into this one, I mean, he's a volume shooter, and he's got twice as many shots as anyone else on the team. He's not quite as efficient as, you know, you look to see the best shooters in the country, but you need to get better shots than that.
Nice save there. Outlet right out to Loud. He's ready to roll.
He's got a great stick. That was a really good handle. Maybe leave him out there on offense.
Hey, I mean, he did well in that cut. Anderson gets around his man. Defense recovers for Brown. Now Stony Brook would get the offensive personnel on. So looking for their first settled goal of the day.
Oh, he was in the crease.
Yeah, Balin stepped in. Good spot.
Man, that is so frustrating. I mean, you see it. It was clear as day. You see him step right in the crease. You cannot give away possessions. They were offside, too. Man, mental errors right now. I mean, they have to be more careful. Otherwise, is that going to go? It is. They get bailed out. But there are things that are fixable that they aren't doing well.
It is the offsides call. They got him. Yeah.
But like that, those are the sort of mental mistakes that you can't have when you're down 5-1. I mean, it hasn't been clean for Stony Brook. Obviously, there's an opportunity to fix that, and they've had some good things that have happened, but those are two pretty cheap ones.
Brown back on the extra man again. Scored one goal in the first two man-up situations. Try to add another. Trying to feed that inside. That's a really difficult feed. Good ground ball by Sabella.
That's a force. I mean, and see, I mean, everybody does it, right? It's like Brown has been so effective.
Turned right back over in the midfield. Scooping it up is Colin Hart, the long stick midi, and right back into the offensive end for the Bears. We got another flag down.
And I think next opportunity, you know, for Stony Brook, Ghilardi's got to call timeout. He's got to settle his boys down because there are these unforced errors that are happening. You know, obviously, you get another opportunity here at man up, but they're playing a lot of defense. They're playing a lot of man down. You gotta. I wouldn't even hate it here in the stoppage calling a timeout, calming the team down, just giving them a talk. Hey, we're okay. I'm okay. You're okay. You know?
Got another 30-second penalty as we take a look at it. They got it right there. Yeah.
Penalty on Stony Brook, number 34, Dylan Palinetti. 30 seconds, interference.
You get Palinetti, who's just trying to get the ball back. Some of that's also frustration, too. You look at Palinetti. First of all, they haven't had a whole lot of settled sets, and so he's frustrated. He hasn't seen the ball a lot, hasn't seen anything go in yet. Takes an extra little hack. Team goes man down. That one deflected. McLean was looking for another. Out of bounds.
That's within his control, though, right, Travis? Right? I mean, you look at it's like if you want more touches,
it's true.
You got to be better on the settled side of the offense. They're winning all the faceoffs. So, I mean, if you're not getting enough touches, you're getting the possessions.
Take care of the ball.
Yeah, that's an execution problem.
Penalty release, back to even strength. Glavin feeds. Yeah, and that one slides in. From a tough angle, it's Jack Kelly with his first of the day.
I mean, that's been building, though. I mean, Jack Kelly has had some good looks. He's doing well on ball, off ball. He's a nice player. I really like him. And, as he continues to progress, if he puts on some weight, man, he's going to be an absolute destroyer.
Just a nice feed out by Trevor Glavin, who picks up another assist today. Once again, Conlon had the beat there on the clamp, but a nice move by Gunty to get the possession.
And again, I talked about, look out.
And on the doorstep, another one. The Bears strike again. It's 7-1 Brown. This time on the shot from Brandon Bergner.
Brown goal scored by number 41.
I mean, I think that timeout is at least a goal too late. You come in here. That's tough. I mean, it's a great goal. It's good hustle. It's good offense from Brown. They're putting it in the back of the net. I mean, maybe you look to make a change in the goal. It's not the goalie's fault that they're losing because Brown's getting high percentage shots, but sometimes that's the sort of change that you need to make to light a fire under your defense.
Well, it's all Brown at the moment. They've got a 6-goal lead. Less than 6 minutes into the second quarter. Gives us a chance to remind you that our CAA Game of the Week coverage continues on Tuesday. Johns Hopkins women visiting the Hawks of Monmouth in Long Branch, New Jersey. Opening draw set for 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You can see all the CAA Games of the Week on WatchLacrosseTV.com. Women's game, how about that performance by the UNC women yesterday? Just absolutely handling Boston College in a rematch of last year's national championship game.
They just reload. I mean, the UNC women are an absolute machine. I mean, I think one to circle is March 10, Stony Brook versus Northwestern, ladies.
Yes.
That one's in the Fieldhouse, Ryan Fieldhouse, which is just gorgeous. But that is going to be a good one.
Yeah, Stony Brook women, of course, top 6 team at the moment in the country.
And they're always great. And they never get enough respect.
They're starting to. I think you see is we have another flag down, so we're going to get the penalty. You see what Joe Spallina has built, and probably more talk nationally about the Stony Brook women going into this year than we've seen. So much returning. Got Player of the Year candidates. Caitlin Hart's been off to a good start.
There are 2 things that I'm still mad about with the Stony Brook women. One, undefeated season, unanimous, number 1 in the media poll, 5 seed in the tournament, which is outrageous. And then Kylie Ohlmiller not winning the Tewaaraton when she broke the single season scoring record. Both of those things are outrageous, and I'm still mad.
I think those are both things that Seawolves fans watching will think are very fair criticisms.
Yeah, well, hey. I do not like the seeding committee for the ladies tournament.
It's another Bears man-up situation. Just one
That's
for
that creep from behind.
back to even strength. It's another stop for Stony Brook. No shots there in the 32nd extra man for Brown. This is Aiden McLean, step down shot, saved by McLaughlin.
Yeah, Coach Polina, obviously a friend of the program.
Another one of those coaches that's just a joy to talk to.
Oh, he's great. You can feel it. You can feel the passion.
A roll back. Skip pass way back outside for Corsi. Syracuse transfer. Trying to get downhill. Jump shot, and he finds the back of the net. His second of the day. He's got 4 now in the year.
Again, you see the slide coming in the double, but they're both on the same side, right? So it's like you've got to be able to box him in if you're going to send the double, if you're not going to recover. He's able to get back to his right, get downhill, take the shot. I mean, there's just no chance for the goalie there. You see it. Watch the slide come. Shorty comes here. You have the slide, but they're both on the same side. He takes a bad angle. And it's a good shot. I didn't take anything away from the shot. I'm just saying that they could be playing better defense.
Matteo Corsi, the transfer from Syracuse, played in 12 games in his freshman year up with the Orange. Scored 5 goals, couple of assists. Now he's got 4 goals, 2 against Providence last couple of games ago, and now 2 here in the first half against Stony Brook.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, no, they had it. Like maybe they stepped offside. Your alma mater, Trav, obviously.
Yeah. Syracuse trying to get things going back in the right direction after a tough year a season ago. A couple of tough losses so far against Maryland and North Carolina for the Orange this year. But speaking of Spalinas, I think Joey Spalina has been about as good as advertised in his first year in Orange.
Yeah, that is the least surprising thing of the season.
We got somebody for Stony Brook stepping out of bounds. Or no, for Brown stepping out of bounds. This is going to be Seawolf's ball.
That was a good save from McLaughlin. I mean, that is important, making that save. It's like I said, I don't blame him for any of the goals that are going in because they're good shots and his team is not putting him in a position to be successful. So it's like sometimes when you're looking at stats, especially goalie stats, they don't tell the whole story. He's not playing bad. He's playing great.
Nice move. Shot off the post. Dario got a piece of that. It was a long pole chance for Michael DeSato, who has 0 career points. Of course, he's just a couple of games in as a freshman, but it would have been a nice way to get your first career goal. Instead, shot is wide. Flag's down. So we'll have
an impressive feed going down there.
Stony Brook and the man up for the first time today.
I mean, Palinetti, I am impressed at how well he was able to make that pass while he was going down, drawing the flag. That's a big-time play.
Another look
See if
at
we
it
get the
here.
full look here, yeah. So he's coming, and then able to do that wall falling down. That's a good look.
Penalty on Brown, number 35, Mark Witt. 1 minute, unreleasable.
Penalty on Mark Witt. It's an unreleasable 1-minute penalty. The chance for Stony Brook. Desperately need a goal here.
Absolutely.
Palinetti operating top of the box. Nice feed, step down shot, and there it is. Jonathan Huber. That is his role. He is a catch and shoot kind of guy. Does just that. And the grad transfer's got Stony Brook back on the board.
That's good. Rotation. Pushing the defense into the rotation. Able to step down into that. They're getting closer. Compress the defense. That's a good shot.
Huber, a second-team All-Big East performer last year at St. John's, actually tied the program record for goals in a single season with 40. was talking to Anthony Gallardi about how they picked him up in the transfer portal. He said, well, it was pretty simple. We saw his name show up, and he got us pretty good last year when we played him, so we figured he might not be a bad guy to add to our offense.
Not that different from Drexel.
Yeah,
their face-off guy.
Yeah, I mean, how that has become a trend in college lacrosse. You have a guy that beats up on you pretty good. You see his name show up in the transfer portal. That's the first thing that comes to mind is the film you watch the day after that game.
Absolutely. I do not like that pass inside. I mean, Brown is collapsing on the crease. They did a good job getting the defense moving. I mean, I'd like to see a shot from 10 or 11 yards again, like we just saw on that goal. But need to be more patient.
Here's Ben Locke going to work at X. Now Glavin working against Sabella. He slips, and coming in to help and pick up the ground ball here is Dominic Gazzali. Nice moves there in the midfield by Mili Estrella. Palinetti. So Stony Brook gets one back. We're under 5 minutes to go in this first half. Palinetti has it stopped by Theriot. Goes low for the kick save.
The goal is hot.
6 saves now for Connor Theriot in this first half. And Mike Daly wants to take timeout for Brown. Hasn't used a timeout yet in this first half. You get 2 of them, you don't get to keep them, so he'll use one here. Under 5 minutes to go in this first half.
I mean, that's not a bad timeout call. I mean, give your team a chance to take a break. They've slowed down a little bit. I mean, as much as you can say slowing down for 8 Gs in the first half. But, you know, good opportunity. Talk it over. And I think this is more of a timeout to try and steal any momentum that Seawolves have built up.
Talk about Mike Daly and Brown, of course, led Tufts in the Division III level to 3 national championships. Then Lars Tiffany leaves Brown after that magical 2016 year. Dylan Malloy wins the Tewaaraton. They make a run to championship weekend.
He doesn't get hurt, they win the championship.
True, yeah. I mean, he's playing out there on a broken foot in Final Four weekend, and they still almost win. I mean, that Final Four, maybe one of the great ones we've seen in recent memory. Of course, that's the one where North Carolina beat Maryland in overtime on the Chris Cloutier score. And the save in overtime by Kyle Bernlord before that. I mean, what a Final Four that was. But you remember that moment when...
Like it was yesterday.
Yeah, you remember that moment when Dylan Malloy came out on the field for the first time before that semifinal. No one knew if he was going to play. He comes out, and he's hobbling around. And what a heroic effort to just to be out there and perform in that moment. As the shot is high for Brown. They keep possession.
Yeah, he had some season that year.
But then, you know, Mike Daly takes over that team in 2017 that had a bunch back. Obviously, they didn't have the year they wanted in 2017, and not a ton of expectations outside of the Brown program entering last year. They go and win a share of one of the best Ivy Leagues we've seen in recent memory. Share the Ivy League title. They make the NCAA tournament for the first time since that 2016 season.
I mean, there's always going to be a shift. You get a new coach. I mean, it's different styles, different coaches. I mean, you get the talent. You gotta rebuild the culture. Daly's obviously done that, and we know that he can do that.
Yeah, clearly has a championship pedigree for all the good things he did at Tufts. As we got a penalty in the middle of the field. Brown will touch it up, and it'll be Stony Brook back on the man up with just 3:30 to go in the first half.
There's big opportunity. I mean, if Stony Brook can get a couple back here in the last 3.5, I mean, this will be a completely different ball game going into the break since they're doing well at the face-off X. They can get this to 8-4.
Yeah, I was going to say you cut this back to about a 4-goal game. All the bad things that happened in that first half and the lack of success offensively, you can almost wipe off because you can go, all right, we're still in this.
100%.
See if they can get one on the man up. The wing here, it's Button, a midfielder. Armitage. Palinetti now working here at the top of the box. Got Huber on that wing on the far side. Trying to step into one, gets his shot off just high.
Yeah, I mean, Brown was waiting for it. They were expecting it. They're not getting the defensive rotating. They're not getting the defense rotating. They need to move the ball faster.
Step down shot, and there's Palinetti cashing in. A man-up goal for Stony Brook there within 5.
Yeah, it just didn't look like the goalie was expecting that. I mean, that works too. I mean, you don't need to get the defense moving if you're just going to put it in the back of the net like that.
I mean,
that's a big-time shot.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've known Palinetti to do. A 32-game goal-scoring streak coming into today. Make it 33 now. That's good for second longest active in college lacrosse.
And he's out there. He's about 13 yards out.
I mean, he is a sharp shooter. 15 goals now so far in 5 games. Loose ball scooped up by Witt. He's had a couple of nice plays so far for Brown defensively.
And like the stats are pretty even in terms of the ground ball, 16-14 in favor of Brown. It just feels like Brown is dominating the ground ball game. I think a lot of those have been going to coming away at the face-off, where you're seeing those ground balls. But it seems like every time there's a loose ball, Brown's coming away with it.
Another flag down. It's been a second quarter littered with flags. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Kelly has his step. Skip pass back across. Now they feed it behind. Glavin looking for a shot in the middle. It's wide. It's a good cut again by Ben Locke. He has a couple of goals already, and now we get the penalty again.
See what the call is here. Gonna be a cross check. Well, there you go. Locked in. Cross check to the head.
Let's get another look at this here. Yeah.
That's a tough call.
Penalty on Stony Brook, number 31, Ben Borshauser. 1 minute.
But I mean, it's point of emphasis. If they think you hit the head, they're going to put you in there.
Yeah. So 1 minute locked in penalty. It'll take us down to about 45 seconds to go in the first half. Even if Brown scores, because it's locked in, they stay on the man up. They can score multiple goals here.
It seems like Gunty's figured it out at the X too.
Stony Brook rotating well defensively so far. Brown continuing to move it. Feed in the middle, a shot well wide there by McLean.
That's solid defense. They're not giving Brown anything easy. They're having to force that one inside through traffic.
About 15 seconds to go on this 1 minute unreleasable penalty. Tough angle shot wide. It'll be Kalafin to trigger it back in from the corner. A couple more seconds on the man up. Bears up 8-3. Not going to force it, and actually it's a shot clock violation. Penalty was expiring anyway, so shot clock violation before that shot was released. Stony Brook, one more chance here. 40 seconds to go in the half.
love to get a goal here.
Anderson, gotta go. Down to 20 seconds to go. Will Button dodges. Rolling around. That one saved by Terrio. Pushed up over the bar. Button tracks it down under 15 seconds to go. Palinetti working there behind the cage. Button spins back, dodges. Did he slide it in?
Yeah.
And does it count? It does. What an individual effort by Will Button.
Well, this is exactly what we talked about, Trav. I mean, you see, if you can cut this, get 2 goals, cut it to 8-4, it feels a lot different. You have the momentum going into the break. You're playing well to face-off X. I mean, it feels different. It's still 4-goal lead. Brown's still playing great. But like you said, that's a great individual effort. It's the twister going in there. I mean, no doubter on that one. That was going to stand.
Conlon wins it forward. 4 seconds. 3. Shoots. And it just rings off the bar as Conlon takes a shot.
That would have been huge.
He's still down on the ground here. And this is, we're going to keep it here. Renz Conlon has not gotten back up.
Yeah, you see them calling for the trainer. Hopefully he's all right.
Did not see a flag come down on the hit there right at the end of the half. It's obviously a tough spot, and we will keep an eye on Renz Conlon for you, but we're going to set it here to a halftime break. Brown with an 8-4 lead over Stony Brook after 2 quarters. Third quarter coming up in a bit, but for now it's halftime here on Lacrosse TV. We welcome you back here to Long Island. Travis Eldridge, Chris Marshall back with you. Stony Brook and Brown getting ready for the start of the third quarter. The good news about Renz Conlon, who was down as we left you at halftime, was that he did get back up. I'm going to continue to try to get you an update on him as we get going here to start the third quarter. Stony Brook got a couple of goals back there at the end of the second. A little bit of momentum as we enter this third quarter. However, the Bears up 8-4.
You look at 8-4, and it could be worse. I think when you look, the stat that sticks out to me is 6 penalties. And fortunately for Stony Brook, they've held Brown to 1 for 6 on the extra man, and Stony Brook has been 2 for 2, which they needed. But I mean, if you look at the shots, I mean, 25-20 in favor of Brown. The ground balls are pretty even, 17-16. Face-offs are dead heat. And this could be worse. So I think you're feeling pretty good about only being down 4, and then really giving yourself an opportunity to get that 5th one right before the break.
It was Declan Mitchell out there to take the opening face-off for Stony Brook of this second half. So, as you might imagine, no Conlon back out there. But as we mentioned, he did get up after a scary hit at the end of the first half. We'll get you any update we can on him as we move forward. But Brown has the first possession here of the third quarter.
Yeah, Mitchell, 5 for 15 coming in. So, I mean, he has taken some face-offs. Not as effective, but...
Going to squeeze a pass there inside, out of bounds, and so an early stop for Stony Brook. One update we're trying to get for you is on Devin McLean for Brown. We have not seen him today. I think I said his name early on, but I was mistaken. I confused him with Trevor Glavin, 28-29 in the program for Brown. I've not seen Devin McLean. We came in talking about him. Came up to 9 goals last week against Vermont, but we haven't seen him today. Seen his brother, Aiden McLean, with a couple of goals, but no Devin. Palinetti from way downtown shoots high.
Hasn't seemed to slow them down any.
I was going to say, I mean, they got off to about as good of a start as they could have asked for in that first half. Led 8-1 Brown before Stony Brook scored a couple of unanswered goals.
5 real quick ones to start the game in the first. I mean, it looked like they were on pace for about 100. Turn the corner.
It's alive here. Shot wide from Huber.
I mean, I know I've been telling them to be patient, but I would have really loved to see Boleyn. I mean, he had his guy hung up. He had space. Take a couple steps above GLA. Take that shot one-on-one. It's unlucky. That's a good look. I mean, they get to keep the ball, but that is good offense on the field. And that's as good as I've seen them so far. I mean, this is encouraging for Stony Brook.
Palinetti puts it back in from the corner.
It seems like they have more confidence. I mean, that's really what you need.
Well, that's what you think
it's going to happen.
I was going to say that it's probably what happens there at the end of the first half. That's why those couple of goals were so big. Get you within 4. Palinetti rings one off a Brown player in front.
It sounded like it hit the pipe, or maybe it was a helmet.
Looked like it may have hit Tyler Blackburn, number 30. Matt Anderson has his man fall down, tries to feed Armitage. Just a really tricky pass. He didn't have a lot of space. Rebound and a behind-the-back finish. What a feeling with this first of the day.
That is exactly what the doctor ordered. I mean, we were talking about this just now getting into the break. We had the ground ball game. It's even, but all the unsettled seem like they're going Brown's way. It's time for Stony Brook to get some bounces, and that's exactly what happened there. It wasn't a great decision. I think the right pass was to make the skip pass to Palinetti, but, you know, put in the fun and fundamental. Improve your angle, boy. Woo! Love it.
That's one for the highlight reels. 9th of the season for the senior out of Comac, New York. Brown wins the faceoff once again. Mitchell out there at the X for Stony Brook. Back-to-back wins here for Gunty to start the second half. This game has really shifted from 8-1 to 8-5.
About lacrosse, Trav, it's a game of
it's a game of runs.
Ah, yes, of course.
4 unanswered goals for the Seawolves.
Well,
Strong.
The energy is different right now from Stony Brook.
Oh, that is huge. McLean, he's got a hat trick today.
It's moving the ball quick. And then you see the worm burner. It comes through traffic. It didn't look like the goalie ever saw it. It's unfortunate. I mean, that's a good offensive set for Brown. I mean, it's unfortunate for the Seawolves. It's great for Brown. But you watch him, and again, here's the slide, and they did a little better job on the recovery. You know, he gets there to about 12 yards, gets the worm burner. It looks like it kicks up a little bit towards the end of that shot.
Face-off win right down the alley, and Stony Brook responds.
That is best case scenario.
It's Robbie Smith, his first face-off of the day. He wins it forward to himself, and he scores his first goal of the year.
You know, it's like they say, iron sharpens iron. You know, you get Conlin, you have to go against him in practice. It's probably going to make you pretty good. And we saw Conlin like that. Zebra gets out of the way. Nice footwork there. Keeps it in his right. Excellent finish.
Also, first of Robbie Smith's career, the freshman face-off guy comes in, and that's one he will forever remember. Freshman out of Huntington, New York.
Adding 1,000. Momentum matters.
That is a huge response for Stony Brook too. You score 4 in a row, you feel like you got the momentum, you give up a goal and a really tough shot for McLaughlin to see as he was
Like
screened.
I mean, it looked like maybe it hit a a mound of those pellets.
Yeah.
Sometimes turf isn't as predictable as you think it's going to be on the bounce.
Squeezing one in there. It's deflected. McLaughlin out of the crease, trying to track it down. Now he's out.
But that's fine. That's fine. That's great. I mean, that's the sort of intensity you want to see. I mean, because it seems like it's been 3 brown shirts, 1 white shirt, at all these ground balls. And so sending everyone, even if they don't come away with it, I think is a win. That's such an early slide.
Now this is Jack Kelly. Shoots just wide.
And it's like, I understand like a philosophy choice. If you're going to be like, all right, we're going to play really aggressive on defense, we're going to send slides super early, but they haven't been recovering as well as I would have liked. And so if you're going to do that, you really have to dial in the recoveries. It's early in the season, so they can fix it, but...
Rebound, still loose, shot clock winding down. Ground ball scooped up there by Sabella.
Ah, that's a good look. That's a great pass.
Stony Brook trailing by just 3. And they can cut this to 2 on this possession. What a comeback this has been. They've scored 4 of the last 5 goals. Actually, I should say 5 of the last 6.
Good math, Trav.
Dodging down the alley, C.J. Harris, the sophomore, part of that second midfield unit for Stony Brook. They don't use him a lot, giving him a run here. How about Huber?
Did really well to get away from that.
And Palinetti's there, a little too hot for him to handle. Can he track it down? He can. That's a big ground ball.
Now they have an opportunity here. Unsettled. Take it. Take it.
Palinetti, skip pass. It's deflected. All sorts of weird bounces it's taking, but Carlo's there. Now they'll try to settle it down a bit.
I mean, that was a great opportunity to use the word carom, which is one of my favorite words.
Carlo has it saved by Terrio. And now Brown goes to clear.
This is trouble.
Numbers for the Bears, unsettled situation. Save in front. And somebody step in the crease, he did.
Yeah.
Stony Brook right back action. End-to-end action here in the third. Palinetti shoots 1, no backup, they give it to Terrio.
I mean, you'd like to get that call at home. That was really close.
Yeah, looked like it was Huber there, just trying to back it up, and instead they give it to Terrio. And I don't know, Chris, what do they say? Ball don't lie?
That, I think, is something that they, in fact, say, Travis.
Mark Jackson coined term, and then so Stony Brook ball on the turnover by Brown at midfield.
I mean, did he invent that? I mean, is this like a Dusty Baker in the high five thing, or
We'll have to get research on it.
Okay, yeah, let's send Bailey out there to figure it out for us.
Armitage dodges. No, he faked me out. My apologies. It's Anderson who has it here at the top of the box. They got him with a hidden ball trick. So they didn't just fake me out. They faked out the Brown defense.
And they've been doing those little flips. They've been doing the little flips, and they've been pretty casual, but they've been selling it after the fact. The guy who's supposed to get the flip will fake the pass. They believe in it. But that's what I was talking about earlier. This would be a 1-goal game if there was a 2-point line in the college game.
Faked out everybody. Everybody thought Armitage had it. Instead, it's Anderson and Terrio completely confused.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I mean, again, that's a confidence play. I mean, you really got to be feeling yourself to shoot from 30 yards out like that.
Opportunity here. Oh, great trail check. Ball loose. Stony Brook wins it. Anderson flips it ahead. Huber, skip pass, deflected.
I'm not even mad.
You know, this is a completely different team from what we saw in the first half. Completely different. They're getting the bounces. They're coming away with the ground balls. It's like we're watching two different games. I'm fired up. I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun.
This is fantastic. All of the momentum has shifted. I mean, it happened at the end of that first half. They scored a couple of goals in a row, got it to 8-4. Now all of a sudden, 9-7. Still almost 7 minutes to go. Make it 9-8.
Good look.
Palinetti on the skip pass, his second one-goal game.
And it's like, luck is a thing, you know, like you can create your own, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're getting the bounces because they're playing hard and they're playing with confidence. And then they're playing good offense because they're confident. I mean, this is really great stuff from Stony Brook. I was worried. You know, we're giving them last rites. They were down 7 Gs early in this one. But, I mean, it feels like they are the team right now. I mean, this is great. Why they play the game, Strap?
Yeah, I mean, this for those that are just joining us, this was an 8-1 Brown lead. Stony Brook has scored 8 of the last 9 goals, and they have now gotten this back to 1.
And they're good goals too. It's not like they're gimmies, you know. I mean, this is a team that looked like they could barely throw and catch for the first 10 minutes of this game, and now they're looking great.
This is Aiden McLean, already has a hat trick today for Brown. Brother of Devin McLean, the star leading scorer for the Bears. We have not seen today, no update from Brown on his status, but we have not seen him play today as we've got a flag down. And then he'll trigger it on the turnover. So Brown going back man up, a place where they have not had a lot of success. They're 1 of 6 on the extra man today.
Yeah, I mean, based on how they're playing in the regular offense, you'd like to see them do a little better than that.
I mean, they've had a lot of opportunities. That's actually one of the reasons Stony Brook's been able to get back in this game, because Brown hasn't taken advantage of some of these penalties.
And you see him catch the helmet there. That's going to be locked in for the full minute.
Penalty on Stony Brook, number 39, Dominic Gonzalez, 1 minute unreleasable, cross-check the penalty.
Dominic Gonzalez goes to the box again. Long stick midfielder. Here's Kelly. Trying to skip it down to the doorstep. Shot saved by McLaughlin.
That's a good look. I'd like to see him maybe take 1 step further out. He had the time. He was going to take a hit, but...
Kelly. And here comes Stony Brook back onto the field. No, not yet. It's another shot stopped by McLaughlin.
He's getting hot.
And now we're back to even strength. What an opportunity this is for Stony Brook. You're back within 1. You can tie this game. They trailed from the get-go in this one. Brown struck early. Brown has not trailed in this game as Anderson dodges. Armitage back top of the box. Brown scored less than 3 minutes in. Jumped quickly ahead 4-0 as that pass is wide. Comes all the way to Brown on the other end. Nice recovery by Stony Brook.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, big hit. Midfield ball came loose. Palinetti's involved. So is Loud. And they take it right back. Here comes Palinetti unsettled. Dylan Palinetti shoots wide.
don't hate that shot. I mean, that's an effort play you earned with possession shot. But there's a different energy with this Seawolf squad right now.
Will Button inverts the midfielder. He feeds, he's got Palinetti, and we are all tied up at 9.
Here's the price. It's worth it. I mean, it's passing up a good shot for a better shot. Find Palinetti. He's your shooter. But you see him, he gets above GLE here, and he has an opportunity to maybe dive in, draws the slide. Boom. That's great work. I mean, he could have taken a step up and take that shot, but that's great work.
Palinetti was having a tough game shooting-wise. Now 11 shots, 3 goals. Former first-team All-America East performer as Gunty wins the face-off and answers.
I mean, if you're Brown, that's what you need.
First goal of the season for the face-off man, Matthew Gunty.
Brown goal scored by number 40, Matthew Gunty.
Immediate answer. I mean, I think the question here is, what is Stony Brook going to do about it?
Freshman Smith already has a goal here today.
Big face-off.
Yeah, Stony Brook gets it right back down by 1, 10-9. Under 3 minutes to go in this third quarter. It was an 8-1 Brown lead. Stony Brook has come all the way back. They tied it at 9 before that last goal by the Bears. Dodging from the wing, and it's eaten up by Terrio. Looked like it kind of slipped out. Terrio able to cover up.
It's a big possession for Brown.
Going to take their time with this one. Ben Locke has been quiet since that first quarter, had a couple of goals. Get some of the midfielders on. Aiden McLean with a big day leads the way for the Bears. Brother of Devin with a hat trick. Now 6 goals on the year. Under 2 minutes to go here in the third. Corsi feeds McLean. Now Kelly working around the top of the box.
Broken stick.
So an extra man essentially here. McLean hits the post. Resets the shot clock here for Brown as McLean has it again. Has his step again, but he moves it along. Now Kelly, nice recovery by Stony Brook. McLean has that shot stopped by McLaughlin. Ball loose though at midfield, scooped up by Brown. And they will take the possession again as we're under a minute to go, and they can hold for 1 here at the end of the third.
You know, I think you're just excited, and you kind of force that pass a little bit coming out. It's you know, small price to pay for having the goalie feel confident, but, you know, maybe take a half step.
Step down shot for Kelly. He's got 2, and the Bears are back up by 2.
Brown goal scored by number 10, Jack Kelly. Assisted by number 42, Mateo.
Yeah, and I think that's just, you know, fatigue. I mean, the defense been playing for quite a while here on that offensive set. I think just got a little tired. And then Brown was able to capitalize. But again, it comes out to the failed clear. Failed clear. And
they're able to get the goal there. Take some of this momentum going into the fourth.
3-point day at the moment for Kelly. 2 goals and an assist as Smith wins another faceoff. And the freshman has come in and had a nice performance. Now 4 of 7 at the X plus the goal. And Stony Brook will take a timeout. Interesting to see that timeout here with 18 seconds to go in the third, something that they will not have with them at the end of the game here in the fourth, the tight game. But obviously Anthony Gallardi feels as though this is an important time in this game. Try to see if they can get one more good look here at the end of the quarter.
I mean, it's just like we saw at the end of the half. I mean, we saw what the team looked like, what a different team came out after the break. If you're able to get a goal here, and obviously you're playing well with face-off X, it's actually a really good opportunity. So you'd love to get a goal here, cut it to 1. I mean, obviously there's plenty of time left to come back and win this game with how Stony Brook is playing right now, but I like this timeout.
Gives us a chance to kind of reset things for you. And as we mentioned, it was an 8-1 lead for Brown to start this game. They were cruising early. Then Stony Brook responded by scoring 8 of the next 9 goals to tie this thing up at 9 apiece. Brown has since gone back-to-back with back-to-back goals to lead by 2. A couple of key players have been missing in action for Brown. We haven't seen Devin McLean, the senior star out of Westfield, New Jersey, who had scored 9 goals last week against Vermont. And then for Stony Brook, we saw their face-off guy, Renz Conlon, who was off to a great start, take a pretty vicious hit at the end of the first half. He was down on the field for a while before getting up and getting helped out off the field. But he has not returned to this game, and so it's been kind of a mixed match of guys at the face-off X for Stony Brook here in this third quarter, but it's worked so far because they've been able to come back. And we've got ourselves a 2-goal game, Stony Brook ball, with 20 seconds to go in the third.
I mean, I think Palinetti's the guy here. You want to try and get him free. He's been doing well moving off ball.
Actually, right now, Palinetti's got a
maybe
short stick on him.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're going to try to do and see if Palinetti can get free. He can't. 14 seconds. Now they just kind of heave it toward the middle. Terrio with 10. He'll send it the length. Out of bounds. Depends on if it's called a shot or a pass. And this is going to be a Brown ball. 4 seconds left. There's just... I mean, there's enough time here to throw something right in front and try to just kind of quick stick it in.
See, Zebra Conference, 1,300. Count it up.
And looks like it will stay Brown ball here. Goal line extended. 4 seconds to go. Quickly, Kelly, gotta go. Did he get it off in time? Looked like he did, but the shot is stopped by McLaughlin. And that is how this third quarter will end. Well, we had all sorts of fireworks in the third. Sets up what should be a terrific fourth. It's coming up here on Lacrosse TV. Our CAA Game of the Week. Brown up 11-9 after 3. Back here for the start of the fourth quarter. Brown leads 11-9. Our CAA Game of the Week on Lacrosse TV. Travis Eldridge, Chris Marshall back with you. What a game this has turned into. And Matthew Gunty back there at the X for Brown, but it's Smith, the freshman, who wins it again. He has been terrific since coming in here toward the middle part of the third quarter. Smith now 5 of 8 at the face-off X, and he has a goal.
I mean, it's not a bad way to start your career off.
You know, of course, came in after the injury to Renz Conlon at the end of the first half, and it started kind of slow for Stony Brook in this third quarter at the face-off X, but they seem to have found a solution with Smith. Chance to claw back as they trail 11-9. After they had tied it, come all the way back to tie it at 9. Nice move there at X, wrapping around, shooting wide. Good look by Will Button.
Yeah, I mean, they've got confidence. And that's what you're looking for.
Anderson here in the near side wing. Gets a screen. Step down shot, Huber. And it's covered up by Terrio after another save. He's now into double digits today. Strong ride by Stony Brook, but Brown able to clear. Unsettled situation. Ryan Behrens on the run, shoots wide. Corsi and Aiden McLean, part of what has been the first midfield for Brown today, along with Jack Kelly. Some different faces out there than what we've seen over the last couple of weeks for the Bears.
Yeah, I obviously didn't hear anything coming in about personnel.
This is Corsi dodging down the alley. Corsi going to work. The Syracuse transfer. He's got 2 today. Now Aiden McLean, who's got a hat trick. Younger brother of Devin has picked up the scoring with his brother out, and he's got 4.
I mean, it's just you get the re-dodge. He's able to create some space for himself. That's a nice finish. He's coming upfield. The slide doesn't come. We've seen really early slides coming for Stony Brook. A little bit of a pick there. Hey, whatever works.
And great placement there on the shot as well. And so 3 unanswered goals for Brown after Stony Brook had scored 8 of 9 goals. Smith just pushes Gunty. Gunty still picks up the ground ball, and now a whistle, and no, it's going the other way. So Stony Brook ball. They have not scored since tying the game at 9. Had all the momentum at that point, and then you got the Gunty goal off the ensuing face-off for Brown. And really kind of halted the momentum Stony Brook had built over the course of the third quarter. Harris dodging downhill, and he shoots high.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's been a little bit of a gap in their scoring here, but it doesn't feel, at least in the intensity that they're displaying, that the momentum has shifted as drastically if we've seen it earlier in this game.
Palinetti working for Max. Trying to find Huber, just a little off. Looked like Brown may have tipped that. Harris tries to keep it in. He does.
I don't think he's out already.
Yeah, they said he stepped out of bounds before he saved it. So Brown ball up by 3, just about 4 minutes into the 4th. McLean, joined by Wertheim and Jack Kelly in the midfield line for the Bears. Pass just a little high. Getting pushed out of bounds and turning it over. Good strong defense there by Stony Brook in the corner.
Yeah, it's good intensity. I mean, that's what you're looking for. I mean, they're chasing that ball down. I mean, you could easily, get back into the hole and, let him come away with that ground ball. But yeah, just the pressure able to cause that turnover.
Pressure that certainly we got to know Anthony Gallardi was part of the Towson program for a number of years before he became the head coach here at Stony Brook. You have to think he brought some of that toughness away from a Tigers program that is just built on it. Armitage, unsettled situation here. Shot to score. Stony Brook back on the board. It's Balin.
Well, that's taking advantage of the aggressiveness of this Brown defense. They thought they had him jammed up towards the top. You're able to get away, and then you create a number situation, and then you just bury the shot. And he needed to bury that one because there was no backup. You see Brown all the way up at the top. Casual. Love it.
Second of the day for the senior. He's now got 10 of the year. As Gunty wins the face-off, picks up the ground ball, now moves it forward. Here comes Kelly on the run, and he finds the back of the net again. A hat trick for Jack Kelly.
And he just runs right by his guy. Full whiff from the defender there. You got to get on his hips. But he just gets by his man, and then, you just watch this here. Just boom, complete whiff by the defender. He gets into, about 9 yards and just stings it.
Now back-to-back hat tricks for Jack Kelly. No goals in the first 2 games for Kelly, the junior out of Indiana. And then he goes 3 goals against Vermont. Now 3 goals here against Stony Brook as it's a violation. And that is going to be the 3rd violation, I believe, on Stony Brook in this second half. So that'll be a man-up opportunity for Brown.
Yeah, just a little bit of jitters, I think. He's been playing well. I think you just take that, obviously. You don't really have a choice, but, that sort of comes with the territory. He's been playing really well.
Well, the man up has not been a success story for Brown today. 1 of 7 on the extra man. Came in 4 of 12 on the year, and those numbers, the 33% they had coming in, is they're going to go way down with this performance. Had a lot of opportunities, just haven't been able to cash in. Squeezes inside. There it is. Right on cue. That was a great sidearm feed by McLean. He gets it in front, and the Bears score back-to-back goals. They're up by 4.
Yeah, that one's a big one. Puts them up 4. It seems like they have reclaimed the momentum now. And you see this happen sometimes, where you get a team. Taking a look here. And he's just wide open there in the middle. And it's casual, just put it where the goalie's not. You have a team that has to come back from such a big deficit, and then they're playing great, and then you get towards the end of the game, and they've used all their energy to fight back into the game.
That was Brandon Bergner with his second of the day on that goal, and loved on that replay as we've got a flag on Brown. This will be a man up for Stony Brook, but I love on that replay. You see Aiden McLean kind of like a quarterback looking off the defense. He looked back toward the middle like he was going to move it along just to keep the defense away from Bergner, who had flashed into the middle. Just created enough space for Bergner to catch and shoot. Stony Brook, on the other hand, on the man up. Not as many opportunities, but 2 of 2 today. See if they can make it 3 of 3 and get themselves back in it.
Yeah, you need one here.
Button moves it along, down on the doorstep. Tough shot for Anderson is wide.
That's a good look.
Armitage, he'll track it down. He'll play it back in from the corner. Palinetti, now Button on the skip pass. Back to Palinetti, feed in front, shot wide again. Good look there from Balin.
Yeah, definitely better looks than they were getting earlier in the game.
Couple seconds left on this man advantage. Now we're back to even strength. Right onto the field. Coming up with the interception is Behrens, and he's going the other way. Extra pass, back out front, and a score. In transition, it's Kevin Sweeney.
This is trouble. Might be a good time to talk it over. Obviously, it's just like awareness. Guy coming through the midfield, subbing in, back to even strength. You know, offensive player didn't feel him coming. Teammates didn't help him out.
Kevin Sweeney, the junior, with his first of the year. Short stick defensive midfielder out of Mount Sinai, New York. And we got another flag. After you get that third violation that triggers that first penalty, every other violation at the face-off X in the second half is another one. And so this is going to be tough if you keep going early.
Yeah, I mean, that's just
Penalty on Stony Brook, number 25, Ross.
what happens. Inexperience.
So another man up for Brown, now up by 5. Got to give a lot of credit to the Bears. You watch a team score 8 of the 9 goals in a stretch, and you watch an 8-1 lead go to a tie game at 9. It's easy to fold, but they did not. They answered quickly and have responded in a big way. Flag is down on the dive. It's McLean diving across the crease. And I think we're going to get a push.
see zebras come together. Yeah, that's what that is.
So 30-second penalty comes just at the end of the first penalty. So once again, 6-on-5 for another 30 seconds. This time it's on Sabella for Stony Brook.
Well, and I think we're seeing some of the kind of fatigue set in from having to work so hard to get back into this game.
McLean moves it along. Step down shot is eaten up. Good ground ball by Stony Brook there in the midfield. That was Loud again. He scored the first goal of the game for the Seawolves. Nice play.
Yeah, another nice penalty kill.
That'll be a big plus for Stony Brook today. Obviously, you don't want to go in the box as much as they have, but the fact that they only have given up the one-man down goal is pretty impressive. They've been on the man down a whole lot today.
Yeah, I mean, was that about nine times?
10. And they've stopped the Brown 8 of the 10 times on the penalty. That shot is wide. No backup. Brown has it. And Anthony Gallardi wants a timeout. You can feel it. 7 minutes to go. Still plenty of time, but that is not the possession he was hoping for. Stony Brook wants to talk things over here. And we will step aside midway through this fourth quarter. Brown with a 5-goal edge over Stony Brook in our CAA game of the week. We welcome you back here to Long Island. Make sure you can follow Lacrosse TV on social media. All kinds of great content for fans to enjoy. You get news from Lacrosse World, game highlights, interview clips, and more. Just follow Watch Lacrosse TV on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Travis Eldridge, Chris Marshall back with you midway through this fourth quarter. And Chris, this Brown team has responded in a big way. You think back of how huge that face-off goal was by Gunty right after Stony Brook tied it at 9. It took some of the momentum away from Stony Brook, and Brown has capitalized ever since.
Well, and I think you look at that. I mean, I mentioned this a couple of times, but it's like you dig yourself a 7-goal hole in the first half,
And, you know, the amount of energy that it takes to get back into a game like that, you know, you can't take your foot off the gas even for a second. And we saw them, you know, lose a little bit of the momentum and then Brown right back up 5 goals.
Brown has it here with 6:30 to play in regulation. Remember, they led 8-1. Stony Brook came back to tie it at 9. Brown, Bears have responded. Hung 22 goals on Vermont last weekend, and another big performance offensively here today. Even without Devin McLean, who scored 9 goals in that win over the Catamounts.
A great opportunity to show off some of the depth.
And his brother, it helps when you've got another McLean on the roster who's shooting like he has today. And nice takeaway there. It was Loud again. He's got a goal, a couple of caused turnovers today.
They're calling his number a lot. He's a good player.
I appreciate the number 0 as a long stick midfielder. I feel like we don't see that enough.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wears 0. It's great.
Neat.
I love it.
Senior out of Smithtown, New York.
I didn't even know that was an option.
Can you do 00 in lacrosse?
I mean, if you can do 0, you probably do 00.
Yeah, that's one I don't know if we've seen. That would take a bold player to do that. Nice feed. Backside, Huber. I mean, that is his role. Catch and shoot kind of guy. He's got 2 now today.
Needed that one. That was a big one. I mean, there's still time, obviously, to do this. They can't have any more procedure calls at face-off X. But that's a big-time goal. Little pick play, defense gets tight, nice little step out, finish.
Armitage with the assist. That was a really pretty play. Got the screen from Palinetti.
First time out there.
Timeout, Brown.
That's a heads-up call.
Timeout, Brown. 5 minutes to go. 4-goal game. Chris, you're Stony Brook. What are you talking about in this huddle, trying to get the ball back?
I just settle in. I mean, I don't think you need to pressure. They've been playing pressure defense. I mean, they're sending the slides super early. So, I mean, I don't think you got to do anything different. It's like, just don't give up any cheap ones. Go out there, play hard, give yourself an opportunity to win the game. I mean, they're in this game. They've been playing well. They've had the momentum. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't give up a goal.
By the way, back to Christian Loud's stat line here today. A goal, 6 ground balls, and 2 caused turnovers. I mean, that's a big-time day for the long stick midfield.
Oh, yeah. And some sort of, like, championship belt or hard hat or something in the locker room. Almost for sure. Maybe the chain necklace.
Yeah, I don't know what Stony Brook's got. I don't think they've incorporated any chains or belts into their locker room yet, but that seems to be the trend.
Maybe like a big sledgehammer.
That would fit. You know, I will say, you talk to both Stony Brook lacrosse coaches, both Joe Spallina and Anthony Gallardi, got that kind of rough and tumble attitude and accent. It just feels right to talk to them about Long Island lacrosse.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, you talk about, you know, Coach Spallina, especially, I mean, it lives and breathes Long Island lacrosse.
Got a couple of really good guys representing their lacrosse programs here for the Seawolves. So Brown ball out of the timeout. They do pressure out a little bit. The defense extended a bit as Brown has just really spaced everybody out.
Yeah, but I mean, even if Brown's able to take, you know, the full shot clock off here, there'd still be 4 minutes left. You win some face-offs. I mean, I think the important thing is not giving up a goal. I mean, even if you're just kind of letting them
eat clock here.
McLean with it in the corner. McLean. They're just playing keep away here. Take some time off the clock. Nice move by Kelly at the top of the box. Spin move. They move it along. Bears skip pass back out top. This is Corsi. 2 goals today. Feed, shot, bouncer, and that will be a dagger. Jack Kelly's 4th of the day.
That's big time shot. Changes the plane. Outshot. Roofs it. That's a very difficult save to make. I mean, it's just a good shot. Again, I mean, that's a best case scenario for Brown. I mean, they eat a ton of clock and then are able to come away with a goal. And he's falling down too. I mean, that's just great body control.
And there was a late flag. Matthew Gunty stopped because he thought that Stony Brook went early. And the official didn't at first call it. And then when everybody at the faceoff X was looking around like, wait, what, that wasn't called? Then he throws the flag. That's a great look for Matthew Gunty.
Yeah. And no wasted steps.
Another penalty on the face-off violation. And this is what is really hard about this rule. Like, once you go 3 times in a half, and especially like it happened for Stony Brook here, it happens in the 3rd quarter. Every single time you go early, the rest of the half, it is a 30-second penalty. Those add up.
That's the worst part, too, because it's like, you got guys out there trying to make a play, trying to make something happen because they need possession because they're down 5 goals. You know, Brown just going to eat some clock again. And now you got to start pressuring.
Yeah, they're going to pack it in at least for the first 30 seconds of this shot clock. Trickling down toward 3 minutes to go here in regulation. Brown 16-11 lead over Stony Brook. Scored 7 of the last 9 goals after the Seawolves came back to tie it at 9 toward the middle of that 3rd quarter. And doing so without their star, Devin McLean.
Yeah, you got to go out there and make things happen. Next man up.
Shot, save. McLaughlin now in double digits in saves as well. He's up to 11.
Trickled in.
Gotta hurry here if you're Stony Brook because we're close to 2 minutes to play. Palinetti all the way around. You can tell he wants it. Palinetti 3 goals today. Now moves it along. Looked like the stick was checked on that shot, but the backup is there for Stony Brook.
Yeah, possession shot, but I mean, they got to start peppering the cage here.
Got to move it quick.
Looks like a good one.
Palinetti off the end line. Feeds in front. Backhand shot off the post. Rebound. Palinetti skips out to Button, and he cashes in.
That's great composure. Good look. You get the skip pass. It looked like he was surprised about how much space he had. Took a couple extra little pro hops in towards the cage. Boom. Very good. That was good offense, taking advantage of Brown defense getting a little unsettled there. I mean, now they just have to manage to not get a penalty on the faceoff.
Taking advantage of the unsettled nature off the shot off the post, Brown couldn't quite recover. No penalty here, but Gunty wins the face-off for Brown.
Yeah, I mean, you can see, Stony Brook there is thinking about it.
Now he got the goalie out of the cage. Tons of pressure, and Brown takes the timeout. So Brown talks things over. Less than 90 seconds to go. They lead by 4. Chance for us to remind you, we've got another game coming up for you here at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Lacrosse TV. Second game of our CAA Game of the Week doubleheader. 4-1 Delaware. The Delaware women taking on 2-3 Georgetown. That game starts 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Men's and women's lacrosse here from the CAA all season long on Lacrosse TV. Delaware men, obviously coming off a disappointing loss last weekend against Villanova, a game we had a chance to do here for you on Sunday. They'll look to get things going back in the right direction, but I still think Delaware probably the team to beat here in the CAA on the men's side. However, Stony Brook, with what they've shown here at the beginning part of the season, they are certainly going to be a feisty team to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
Team that was not eligible for the America East tournament last year because they were switching here to the CAA for the first time, and that was a killer for this program last year. Talked to Anthony Gallardi about that earlier this week, about what it was like to be the second seed in the America East regular season. They were 4-2 in the conference, and just their season ended, and it was tough for especially the fifth-year grad transfers and the grad students who had come back for another run at this, and because they were changing conferences, not eligible for the America East tournament, and with what they did out of conference, didn't do enough to be an at-large consideration. And so no postseason for Stony Brook a year ago, a team that deserved to be there with what they did in the America East in the regular season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's always tough. It's the cost of doing business,
Yeah, one of those, I mean, they were one of a number of teams across the country who were dealing with that last year. We had a bunch of shifting around with especially college lacrosse conferences. At UMass now in the Atlantic 10, team that we've seen here in the CAA for a number of years, as we got a penalty. Brown can just hold on to this, though. They're just playing keep away.
Well, one thing I just noticed, we're talking about the face-off acts. Declan Mitchell out of Jesuit High School, Carmichael, California. That's where I went.
There you go.
Marauders.
I'm going to get this penalty with 38 seconds left, and I think it may run the rest of regulation here.
Yeah, that should just about do it.
It's 2 minutes unreleasable, so that will take us to the rest of the game. So this Stony Brook team is going to come up just short after a really valiant effort to come back down to 8-1, come all the way back to tie it at 9. But Brown responded in a big way. Mike Daly's team is going to get to 3-1 here to start the year, and a lot of credit. And you got another flag down. Right? This is starting to get crowded there in the penalty area.
Yep, a little bit of frustration coming out. I mean, at least for, the middle part of that game, played well enough to win. I mean, you just can't dig yourself a hole like that.
For Brown, a surprising loss, I think, to start the year. We talked about it at the beginning against Quinnipiac, 11-10 heartbreaker. But what we've seen here now for 3 straight weeks, I think the Brown team we thought we would see. Obviously, they lost a bunch from the team that went to the NCAA tournament last year, but you got Terrio back in goal, another double-digit save performance from him. We hope for Devin McLean's return, because he adds a lot to this offense that we've seen pepper the cage today for the Bears. So, I mean, this is a talented team, a team to be reckoned with again in the Ivy League.
Absolutely, and get a little 5-on-4 here for the rest of the game.
Does everybody go to the
classic lacrosse 5-on-4?
Oh boy, this is A lot of space to run out the final 38 seconds.
Yeah, you just hold on to it. I mean, honestly, like, you know, it's time to go home.
Everybody making sure to get one last word or hit in here in the final minute. Fitting to have Aiden McLean hold on to it. What a game he had. Came in talking about his brother. Well, Aiden goes ahead and came in today with 3 goals in the year. He scores 4 today, go along with an assist for a 5-point performance. And he and Jack Kelly helping lead the way. Excuse me, a 6-point performance for Aiden McLean. He and Jack Kelly combining for 11 points as we've got another. It's McLean. How about 5?
Yeah, 1 for good measure.
A 7-point day for the sophomore, the transfer from Fairfield.
Yeah, I would have been okay with them just letting them, you know, wait it out. I mean, you look at it, you give up another goal. This one's out of reach. Final 30 seconds, you put a little pressure on there. End up giving up another one.
So Aiden McLean and Jack Kelly combined for 12 points today.
He was early there too, I think.
Well, they'll let him play this one out. Stony Brook wins the faceoff, 6 seconds. Huber will get one more shot. See if he can pad his stats, and that will do it. So Brown wins it, your final 17-12 here on Long Island. They beat Stony Brook for the 2nd consecutive year. And they took the Seawolves' best shot in the 3rd quarter, but they responded a big way. They run away with this one in the 4th.
Yeah, I mean, you know, moral victories don't show up in the scorebook, but I mean, I think you have to be happy if you're going to take something away from the Stony Brook game about how they responded and how they played. And now you just got to turn that middle part of the game into 60 minutes. But I think there were some real positive things for Stony Brook in this game. Obviously, Brown looked great, especially early and closing out the game, and that's when you really want it. You know, play your best lacrosse to open and close, and you'll win a lot of games doing that. But I think that there are positives for Stony Brook coming out of this loss.
Well, the Bears will move to 3-1 on the year. They got a trip to North Carolina coming up next weekend. A big showdown before they start Ivy League playoffs for Stony Brook. They drop to 2-3, and they'll make the trip to Providence to take on the Friars coming up next weekend. But for now, that's going to do it from us. Once again, your final score, Brown 17, Stony Brook 12. For our entire crew and Chris Marshall, I'm Travis Eldridge. We say so long from Long Island. Bears, the winner here in our CAA Game of the Week on Lacrosse TV. We'll see you next time.